Today, Today, the Agastya team will provide insights on the topic Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. Our team comprises of the following members, and each of the mumukshus will be displaying and discussing on the below topics. That is Hemaji, Chitraji, Shubhaji, Kalyaniji, and Rajeshwariji. We all will be discussing on the Arjuna desires to see the universal form, how the granting of Divya Chakshu will be, Sanjaya's description of the universal form, Arjuna's description of the universal form in three phases, that is expression of wonder, fear, and devotion, and finally withdrawal of the universal form and glorification of devotion. So having completed the 10th chapter titled Vibodhi Yoga, now we are entering the Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, which means vision of Lord as Vishwarupa. What do you mean by Vishwarupa? Rupa means form and Vishwa means universe. The Lord, whose very form is universe itself. Question is, how can one get the darshanam of the Lord in the form of world? We shall unfold the answer for this in the upcoming verses. The initial verses begin with Arjuna's summarization of the earlier chapters. In the first Shatkam, we have seen the essence of Jiva Swarupa. That is, I am not the body and the mind, but I am the nature of pure consciousness. In the second Shatkam, Ishvara Swarupam is described, and we saw the Srishti, Sthiti, and Laya aspect. The famous example is the waves and the ocean. Waves are born out of ocean and they resolve back into the ocean. We can conclude that waves are not separate from the ocean, and wave is only an additional name given to the very ocean itself. Arjuna says that because of Krishna's teaching, his delusion has gone. What sort of delusion? Initially, Arjuna thought killing Bhishma and Drona is not correct. Why? Because of Ahankara and Mamakara. Arjuna's reverence for Lord Krishna increases, as earlier he has seen Krishna in roles other than Jagat Guru. He praises the Lord with words like Kamalapatraksha, Purushottama, and Parameshwara. Before proceeding to the next verses, we need to observe that Vishwarupa Ishvara has been described in the chapters 7, 9, and 10. In Vishnu Sahasranama also, the very first Nama is Vishwam. The very universe is Ishvara Swarupam. Learning to see the world in the form of the Lord. That is, we should train ourselves to look at the very world as Ishvara. From previous chapters, we know that Lord is the material cause and the intelligent cause of the universe. To quote an example, if we have to experience anything, we require two things, that is object of experience and subject of experience. Rama has given darshan to Shabari and Ravana. Here we need to observe that Shabari's mind is prepared and purified, but not Ravana's. Similarly, here Arjuna's mind is not purified yet, and the vision is obstructed by Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya. Hence, he is not able to appreciate. We all must assimilate the teaching that God alone manifests as the universe. Here, every vision in front of me is a different version of God. We should clearly understand that this teaching is, and with my perspective, it changes. This new perspective is called Divya Chakshu, that is the mystical eye. Arjuna expresses his desire to see the divine cosmic form, and he requests God that if it can be seen by me, then show me your inexhaustible form. He asks Lord Krishna, may you show me the Vishwarupa. Here, Vishwarupa is Aneka Rupa. We must observe one point here. We should approach reverentially and request appropriately, and we cannot demand. We have seen a similar verse, chapter 2, that is Tad Vidhi Pranipatena, a similar verse. Coming to the next verses, the Lord says, Bharata, see my divine forms of various kinds, colors, forms in hundreds and thousands. The Adityas, the Vasus, Rudras, Ashwins, and Maruts, the entire universe. The next portion on how Arjuna will be granted Divya Chakshu will be taken up by Hemaji. Om Tat Sat.
Om Gurubhyo Namah. Krishna calls Arjuna as Gudakesha, the one who has mastery over sleep. That means alert mind to behold his form. Arjuna wondered where to see it. Krishna states it is within the body of Supreme Divine Personality that he will see universe with all moving and non-moving entities. Every entity exists in the universal form, so do the events of past and future. Arjuna will thus be able to see the victory of Pandavas and the defeat of Kauravas as an event that is a part of the unfoldment of the cosmic plan for the universe. When Lord descends in the world, he has two kinds of forms. Material form, which can be seen with material eyes. Other is divine form, which can be seen with divine vision. That is why Lord cannot be recognized when he takes an avatar on earth. Arjuna could not see this form with his physical eyes. Krishna says that he will grant him the divine vision to him. What is this divine vision? Divine vision depends upon our mental refinement cultivated through advanced maturity, divide of ahankara and mamakara. This distri was temporarily removed, clouded mind and mental block of Arjuna and elevates and take him to the higher level of consciousness. This drishti was also given to Ma Yashoda, who saw the whole Brahman in the Lord's mouth. In the next few verses, Sanjaya narrates to his king Dhritarashtra what Arjuna saw after getting the divine vision. Sanjaya was also blessed with divine vision by his guru Vedavyasa. So he also beheld the cosmic form in the same manner as Arjuna saw it. In the next few verses, Sanjay describes the Lord with Aneka and Ananta words. The entire creation he is the body of God, cosmic form. He saw many heads, hands, and divine weapons, body decorated with multiple various ornaments. He was smeared with sandal paste, with divine fragrance spreading all over. He revealed unusual wonders and marvel in all directions, transcending the limitation of space and time. In the cosmic form, the Lord Arjuna perceived the entire world of multiple varieties. Universe has shrunk into physical structure of Sri Krishna. It means that Arjuna could intellectually comprehend the sense of oneness in the world of matter. He could see many in the one and one in many. This vision is revelation of potential divinity of all earthly life. The sum total of our body parts are Bhagavan's head and body parts. We are to view it as Atma Darshanam. Identifying ourselves with divine supreme Tattva should develop the maturity to see the whole Jagat as Ishvara, who is the Karanam and Karyam for the entire creation. Bhagavan is controlling, maintaining the entire universe. He is beyond time and space with no beginning, middle, or end. Arjun was struck with amazement to see the radiance, which is like thousands of suns blazing simultaneously in the mid-sky. The splendor of cosmic form has no parallels. Arjun saw the totality of the existence in his body. He beheld the entire creation of universe, galaxies, Pandavas, relatives, sages, saints, different shapes and colors. Arjuna saw the ultimate divinity. Full of wonder, he bowed down his head with folded palms and started addressing. By seeing this darshan, Arjuna respects towards Bhagavan increases. Hey Krishna, you are not this mere Vishwarupa. Not only you are Ekarupa, Ishvara, you are Anekarupa, Arupa, the formless Bhagavan. You are without origin, middle or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms. What does it mean? All the hands belonging to all the people, all the you see are the Bhagavan's hand. The sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning in this entire universe by your radiance. Vishwarupa Darshan is an understanding that Bhagavan is the supreme reality. We have it as Atma Darshanam. Identifying ourselves with Supreme Tattvam is Ishvara, is Karanam and Karyam. Example, gold, ornament, ocean and waves. Not only that, all direction are your body. Idam, Atpudam, Rupam, Trishtva. Oh God, I cannot enjoy your wonder from any angle because your fierce mouth, which is destroying principle of Bhagavan. I am seeing the terrible form of yours. Whole world is frightened. Arjuna starts experiencing the reality of destructive aspect of Bhagavan. His emotion changed to that of fear. All the various manifestations of Shiva, Vasus, Sadyas, Asuras, demigods are beholding you in wonder. Indeed, I am frightened by seeing you who is touching the sky with many radiant color, whose mouth are wide open, who has glowing eyes. I do not find courage. Oh Bhagavan, my innermost is frightened because of Kalam. I am disturbed. I have lost my peace of mind. Be gracious, O Ishvara, of Ishvara, who is abode of universe. Arjuna's mind again goes to the mouth of Bhagavan. He is not seeing anything other than the mouth, that which symbolizes the sharp teeth which are comparable to Pralaya Kala, Agni, in your mouth. When I look at your mouth, I cannot think of the direction. I am greatly disturbed. Oh Bhagavan, be gracious to me. Hey Janardhan, this is how Arjuna viewed Bhagavan in Vishwarupa Darshan. Now his emotion changes to the next level, which will be discussed by Mrs. Shubha. Om Tassat.
Hari Om. Now we are going to see how Arjuna's emotion changed from wonder to fear. Arjuna, blessed by Lord Krishna with Divya Sakshu, he finds the whole universe, both micro and macro, as the body of the Lord. This is the cosmic form or Vishwarupa Darshana. In this process, Arjuna experiences the range of emotion like Vismaya, that is wonder, Bhayam, fear, and devotion. He is filled with wonder when he sees the entire Apara and Para Prakriti in one shot without himself and praised God as Paramatattvam. Arjuna's emotion changed to fear when he suddenly sees the Bhagavan's mouth wide open, lit up with blazing fire, swallowing everything around. The blazing mouth is the symbol of Kala Tattvam in destructive aspect. Arjuna is not able to accept this form of Ishvara in Rudra Swarupam as he is not able to accept the cosmic form in totality. He can appreciate the glory of Apara Prakriti without himself. Secondly, his knowledge about the Tattvamasi is incomplete. Also, he has not understood the polarities like birth and death, Sukham and Dukkham, etc., or the integral part of the empirical world. Above all, the Srishti has to go to unmanifest form, and then only Brahma, the creator, can start his next Srishti. Arjuna, without knowing all these realities, gets frightened by the following Rupa of cosmic form. He gets frightened at heart by seeing Lord touching the sky with brilliance in color, mouth wide open with protruding tooth and large fiery eyes. He finds all jivas with all organs in full inside the cosmic form of Bhagavan. He also witnesses all the sons of Dhritarashtra along with a host of kings, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and the warriors of both the sides entering into the mouth of cosmic form. Arjuna could not digest the death of Bhishma and Drona due to his moha. Thus, this form shows that everything is predetermined by Ishvara as per law of karma, whether the battle is going to be held or not. The deaths of above persons are certain. Hence, one should shed attachment and accept the old age and death gracefully. Intelligent living is to accept the unfavorable situations of life and act appropriately. He is also filled with fear when he sees some of the jivas stuck between the teeth and some are seen with their head crushed. This symbolizes the suffering of jivas with diseases. Hence, one should learn to accept the pains in life. He also sees many heroes of the universe entering into the blazing mouth of cosmic form, just as stream of rivers culminate into the ocean. This implies that all living beings have to resolve ultimately with God and take birth again according to their karma palam. Similarly, people entering the mouth with great speed for their own destruction, just as moth flying into the blazing fire and get perished. In present-day context, we can draw parallel to some extent the mass destruction of people due to tsunami. Thus, the Kala Tattvam described in these verses as an integral part of Vishwarupa Ishvara in Rudra form. Then Arjuna sees the jivas where prarabdha karmas are over, being crushed, swallowed, and relished by Bhagavan. Now his mind is filled with a doubt whether Bhagavan is a compassionate one or a cruel one. The same doubt would arise to us when we encounter with any unfavorable situation in life. Here, hence, Arjuna asks Bhagavan about his nature and his function. Krishna clarifies to Arjuna about his doubt in the following verses. He says that he is also the fear aspect of aspect and manifesting as time principle, which is the integral part of Vyavaharika world. Lord says, when time comes, all the warriors arrayed in both the sides would cease to exist, even without the participation of Arjuna in the war. Atmajnanam only gives the inner strength to accept the totality of the creation. Bhagavan continues his speech in the verses. Tasmatvamutishta yesho labhasva jitvan shatrun bhungshva rajyam samriddham mayaivaite nigata purvameva nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. Here, Krishna addresses Arjuna as Savya Sachin, means who can shoot the arrows with the left hand also. Then Bhagavan persuades Arjuna to fight the battle on Dharma's side and attains name and fame irrespective of the result. Lord says that Arjuna is only the nimitta matram. This means that Arjuna is mere an instrument in the hands of Bhagavan, as Lord has already decided the fate of Bhishma, Drona, Karna, etc. As Kshatriya, Arjuna has to follow the Kshatriya Dharma to fight the war. That is the will of God. Whereas Arjuna's attachment towards Bhishma and Drona conflicts his mind not to fight the war. So when Arjuna free will goes in alignment with Krishna's will, he has become the Nimitta Matram. In this context, a doubt may arise to us. If we are the mere puppets in the hands of God, then he is only the doer and controller of all our action. Then what is the role of our free will in one's life? This is the fatalistic idea which our Shastras never accept. Shastra also says, on the other hand, the same Shastra accepts the fate very much. Fate is defined as the result of our past action in our previous janmas. This is known as the prarabdha karma. Shastra also says that free will and fate are the two factors together control the human future. Devotion to God to some extent would change the fate. Intellect and planning would contribute to our free will. Hence, if one leads a dharmic life without raga dvesha, his free will would get aligned to God's will and he would earn a karma pala. Shastra says when one uses his free will in alignment with universal harmony, that is dharmic life, he becomes an instrument in the hands of God and devotion to God will follow. This is the important message we get from verse 33. At last, Krishna asks Arjuna to take part in the war and perform his ordained duty and kill the great warriors Bhishma, Drona, Jayadratha, Karna, etc., who are already killed by Bhagavan. So, Arjuna, you fight the war without any fear and conquer the battle. Now, Arjuna's fear slowly changes into devotion to Lord. Arjuna's stuti to Lord will be followed by Mrs. Kalyani. Om Tat Sat.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Bhagavan Sri Krishna gives an important teaching to Arjuna that cosmic functions are happening as per the order of Ishvara and we are all only nimittam in Ishvara's hands. One should align one's individual will to Dharma and choose the dharmic course of action, however it is painful. Surrendering individual will to the order of Dharma leads to mental maturity and spiritual growth. After listening to Krishna's advice, Arjuna's initial Vismaya, then Bhayam, all gone now, and his attitude is changing towards Bhakti. Now, Arjuna can clearly see that Krishna standing before him is not just mere a friend of him. He is the Para Prakriti and Karmapala Data of the universe. With a clear understanding, his attitude changed to devotion and surrender. He starts elogizing Krishna's glories from various perspectives. Sthane Rishikeshe tava prakritya jahat prahrishyat yanurajyate cha rakshamsi bhitani disho dravanti sarve namasyanti cha siddha sangaha. Arjuna addressing Krishna, O Rishikesha, master of senses, it is but apt that the entire universe rejoices in praising you by chanting your names, virtues, and glories. The Rakshasas, who are the narrow-minded people who view the world through ego-driven vision, flee in all directions. But the saintly people who have the vision of Ishvara take delight in praising you, charmed by you, and bow to you. O Mahatma, why should they not bow to you? You are the original creator, Adikatre. You are the creator of Brahmaji. You are Ananta, the limitless. You are Jagannivasa, a mode of universe. Tvam Aksharam Sadatat Param. You are the imperishable reality beyond both manifest and unmanifest. Arjuna is using the words Kasmachatena, meaning, why should they not? Merge back into him. So Arjuna says, anyone who appreciates your glory as Visvarupam, that is the totality, doing namaskaras is very, very natural and instinctive. Arjuna's devotion now becoming deeper and deeper. Lord Krishna's stature is increasing in Arjuna's vision. He acknowledges Ishvara's unparalleled greatness by addressing him in various names as Adideva, the primal deity, Purushaha, all pervading and indweller of everything, Param Nidhanam, that is ultimate supporter of the world. You are both knower and known. You are the highest abode. It is you who pervade the entire universe. You are the Ananta Rupa, possessor of infinite forms. Now, Arjuna has understood very clearly Krishna as the Paramatatvam, and he sees that Paramatatvam in all the primal forces of nature. He mentions that you have only created the Vedic deities and empowered them to perform the respective functions. He is praising Krishna. You are Vayu, you are Yama, you are Agni, you are Varuna, moon god, etc. You are the creator of Brahma and you are the Prapitamaha, and thus you are everything. Experiencing profuse reverence towards Sri Krishna, Arjuna is offering repeated namaskaras. Overwhelmed with devotion, Arjuna offers his salutations 1,000 times, Sahasra Kritva, exclaiming Namaha, Namaha. Arjuna now experiencing highest level of bhakti, which is Jnana Bhakti. His pride has dropped completely. He has understood that his power and valor has come only from Ishvara and he is only the Nimittam. Arjuna continues his glorification by addressing Krishna as Anantavirya, Amita Parakrama, that is, who possesses the infinite strength and immensely powerful. I offer my salutations to you from the front, from the back, from the top, from the bottom, and from all sides. Arjuna is seeing the cosmic form everywhere, all around. Sarvam Samapnoshi. So Arjuna is doing namaskaras repeatedly in all directions. Having realized the supremacy of Sri Krishna, now Arjuna is entering into the fourth phase of emotion, that is regret. All along, Arjuna was not at all aware of the ultimate divine personality of Sri Krishna. Because of his ignorance, Arjuna has disrespected him many times since childhood while playing, eating, jesting, etc. So he is regretting now that he implores forgiveness from the Aprameya for whatever he has done to Sri Krishna due to ignorance and due to affection. In his Shama Prarthana, Arjuna praises Sri Krishna as the father of the entire creation, as the greatest Jagat Guru, worthy of respect. There is no one in the three worlds ever even equal to you. Then there is no question of anyone above you. As a father tolerates his son, a friend forgiving his friend, as a lover pardons his beloved, O Deva, please forgive me for my offense. Bowing deeply, prostrating before him, Arjuna asks for forgiveness from Sri Krishna. Now, Arjuna is experiencing tremendous reverence and immense joy in seeing cosmic form, but he is missing the Sakya Bhava of Sri Krishna, for which he is used to all along. His mind is now trembling with fear, so he prays to Sri Krishna to be gracious on him and appear in the pleasing divine form as before. Now Arjuna is under fear because Sri Krishna has given him Divya Sakshu temporarily, but not Jnanam. One will get Jnanam through sadhanas only. Here Arjuna was elevated temporarily without sadhanas. So his ego has surfaced again and he gets into fear, which is natural. So he is asking Sri Krishna to hide the Vishwarupam and appear in the pleasing form with the Chadurbuja, with the disc and mace and crown on his head. Over to Rajeshwari for the withdrawal of cosmic form. Om Tat Sat.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Arjuna concluded his prayers after 3 stages of emotional shift: Asharyam, Bhayam, and Bhakti. Arjuna says, Tenaiva Rupena Chadurbhujena, O Sahasrabaho. I don't want to see you with 1,000 hands. Please give me darshan with 4 hands. When Arjuna made this request, Sri Krishna says, I am not responsible for this Vishwarupa Darshanam. I know you are not ready for this. You made a special request, so I choose to show you. If you do not want to have this, so I bless accordingly. But before that, let me tell you this. Vishwarupa Darshanam is radiant, timeless, limitless, universal form, which is not seen by none other than you. You could see since I gave the divine power to you. Here, Bhagavan wants to point out that Arjuna could see the Vishwarupam because of his devotion, which is bhakti. For the sake of highlighting the bhakti, he brings down all the other sadhanas like Veda Parayanas, puja, chanting of slokas, danam, yajna, and tapas. But that doesn't mean it is not having any value. All the sadhanas are equally important. Here he intends to highlight bhakti. In chapter 7, Krishna has talked about Artha Bhakti, Artharthi Bhakti, Jnanasu Bhakti, and Jnani Bhakti. Artha Bhakti is done when a person is in crisis situation. In this bhakti, he will expect the result of coming out of the crisis situation. His bhakti won't go beyond that level. And the second level of bhakti is done when he is in need of some materialistic desires. This bhakti will also remain up to the fulfillment of desire. But Jignasu Bhakti means a devotion through which a person wants to have a Ekarupa Ishvara Darshanam. He leaves all his problems and desires and develops the devotion towards God. This Jignasu will show his devotion, not expecting anything in return. So too, Krishna blesses Arjuna to have a relaxed mind without any fear or any tension. With a stress-free mind, you may again see my Ekarupam. Sanjaya Uvacha Idyarjunam Vasudevattadova Swakam Rupam Darshayam Yama Chabuyah Ashvasayama Sachabitamenam Bhutva Punas Saumya Vabhur Mahatma. Sanjaya said, having said thus to Arjuna, Krishna showed again his own form. So here we have to understand that withdrawing the Vishwarupam and then brought back to Krishna Rupam means whether Lord Krishna removed his Vishwarupam? No. If he removes, then the entire universe will vanish. Because Vishwarupa includes everything in this universe. Then how Arjuna could see this Chaturbhujena Krishna Rupam? Krishna takes back his Divya Chakshu, the divine power. Hence, he could see Krishna in normal form. Now, Arjuna lost his Divya Chakshu means he will get back his Ahamkara and Mamakara. As long as Arjuna got Ahamkara and Mamakara, then he will not be able to enjoy the Vishwarupa Darshanam. Divya Chakshu gave him freedom from Ahamkara and Mamakara. Therefore, Ahamkara and Mamakara are the obstacle for Vishwarupa Darshanam. Now he looks at Krishna as his own personal God. From Anekarupa Bhakti, he comes back to Ekarupa Bhakti. When the mind is immature, both Anekarupa and Arupa Bhakti will not appeal. In that case, it is better to confine with Ekarupa Bhakti. So here Bhagavan again explains the means of Vishwarupa Darshanam, which is Bhakti and Bhakti alone. Bhagavan is reminding Arjuna the Sakama Bhakti, which is done for worldly desires. And once a person practices this Bhakti for some time, the mind gets purified and the mind begins to understand to have Bhagavan not as a mean, but as an end itself. Because he has become mature enough to understand that Bhagavan is the only reliable one. He gets Nitya Anitya Viveka. Jagat is Anityam, Ishvara is alone, Shashvatam. When this Viveka comes, then he will start to realize that Ishvara is Sadhyam and world is Sadhanam. This Bhakti is called Jignasu or Mumukshutva Bhakti, otherwise called Ananya Bhakti. And at the conclusion part of the final level of Bhakti, Bhagavan is neither the mean nor the end, neither the sadhana nor the sadhyam. Because as long as I look upon Bhagavan as a mean or end, Bhagwan is different from me. Therefore, Ananya Bhakti will know Bhagwan in his real nature. What is the real nature of Bhagwan? Bhagwan is neither sadhanam nor sadhyam, but Lord is I, myself, aham brahmasmi. And through this knowledge, the devotee merges into Bhagwan. He becomes one with Bhagwan. He will gain the wisdom that Bhagwan is never different from him. The notion of division is removed and the merger happens with Bhagwan. Mat karma krin mat paramo mat bhakta sanka varjitaha nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yes samameti pandava. So this is the capsule verse and this is the seed verse of this chapter. According to Krishna Bhakti, Bhakti is not a particular sadhana, but it is an entire range of sadhana which takes a person to moksha, which is in 3 levels. First is Karma Yoga. Krishna here says Karma Yoga can be called as a bhakti as it requires intense bhakti to the God. Without devotion, Karma Yoga is not possible because Karma Yoga has to be done with Ishvara Arpana Bhakti and Prasada Buddhi. Then the next level is Upasana Bhakti. In this level, Bhakti is in the form of meditation or Dhyanam. Then the Bhakta will start to realize that the real God is not outside, he is within his heart. And the final stage of Bhakti is Jnana Bhakti, which understands the real nature of Bhagwan. To know the real nature of Bhagwan, one needs to study the scriptures and discover the true nature of Bhagwan, which is called Vedanta Vichara. So a person has to practice and until ultimately become one with Bhagwan. Developing sadhana chatushtaya sampati alone is the aim of sadhaka. The rest of the thing have to come to take place by Bhagwan's grace only. To get jnanam, one needs guru. Bhagwan says, if you develop the sadhana chatushtaya sampati, I will send you a guru. When a person gets ready, Bhagwan sends guru. When such a person gets guru, he gains jnanam and moksha. He becomes one with me, Bhagwan concludes. So by doing a sincere pratana to Bhagwan Sri Krishna, to bless us all with Ananya Bhakti, I conclude this presentation. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Shu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vishwarupa Darshana Yogo Nama Ekadashodhyayaha. Now, my teammate Niharika will present all our takeaways from this chapter. Over to Niharika.
Hari Om. So let us register the important points from this chapter and transform our attitude. So Vishwarupa consists of pairs of opposites and we need to accept both. Here Arjuna was not able to accept the death of Bhishma and Drona. Vishwarupa means everything is sacred, no dvesha bhavana towards certain things. We also have to approach the Guru with humility. Vishwarupa Darshanam is not an extraordinary object, but an extraordinary attitude towards an ordinarily available universe. That is, for example, if Sachin Tendulkar autographs a bat, then its value increases. If the laddu is coming from Tirupati, then our perception towards that is different. So appreciation is of twofold, physical and attitudinal. Attitudinal appreciation comes out of training and understanding. It requires tremendous intellectual drill and mental refinement because we are not seeing anything new, but we are seeing something old with a new attitude. Hence, mind should be free from ahankara and mamakara. This transformation or attitude is called Divya Chakshu. Nimitta matram bhava. When we appreciate the totality, orderliness, and harmony of creation as integral part of the Lord, we will use our free will also in accordance with universal harmony, which is called dharma. When free will has alignment with dharma, that alignment is called surrender. So Vishwarupa Darshana makes Sharanagati natural. There Arjuna also surrendered and followed the dharma, which means he has to kill people, which is in keeping with the requirement of dharma. And finally, we need to understand that the benefit of Vishwarupa Darshanam is expansion of the mind. The narrowness of the mind, the short-sightedness of the mind will go away. Om Tat Sat. Amma, we are done with our presentation.
Thank you, Niharika. Can you stop sharing? Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. So thank you to all of you for that very crisp and focused presentation on a very dramatic and intense chapter, the most intense chapter of the entire Gita, no? Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. And very nice it was how Niharika gave a nice introduction about how this chapter is about Aneka Rupa Bhakti came out well in the introduction, and also the takeaways in the end rounded up everybody's points that you had made, no? And all the individual speakers also spoke with I would say power. Very impactful it was. You had put your emotion and bhava into it, you know. How Hema, I think Hema was a teacher, no, in Delhi, if I'm not mistaken. So she described that roller coaster emotions that Arjuna was going through very well, and the terrifying Vishwarupa also. And so that was very nice. And then Shubha conveyed the beautiful and very important message of the entire chapter, and that is all the solutions are in the big picture, samashti, and we're all nimittams, no? And how to be an instrument in the hands of the divine, and aligned with the order came out very nicely in her talk also. And then that was followed by Kalyani, and with great devotion she also described how the emotion changes to stuti, no? And a very nice slide with all the sambodhanas. And in our with my senior students, you know, I had given them an exercise to count the number of sambodhanas for Arjuna and Krishna because they know Sanskritam, intermediate students. So there are 33 plus sambodhanas for Krishna and about 9 for Arjuna. So that was also very nice. And then Rajeshwari, of course, in the end, that was very lovely, going through the stages of bhakti, you know, highlighting the role of bhakti. So how nicely, you know, Bhagavan emphasizes karma and karma yoga in the first shatkam, and how the middle shatkam is charged with bhakti. That came out very well in her talk also, and also very important takeaway there. Yeah. Have I missed out anybody? I think those were the speakers, right? And so I think all will agree that it was a very good presentation, and I found the slides also nice, no? The picture going along well with the verses, no? Not everybody chanted today, but Kalyani and Rajeshwari chanted also very nicely. It's nice to intersperse, no, the talks with some chant, and that was nice. And on the whole, the presentation I think went over by 4 minutes or 5 minutes, which is allowed because it's not only an intense chapter but a long chapter, no, 55 verses. So so thank you everybody for that, you know, taking us through the cosmic darshanam again of Bhagavan. And with that we complete the chapter 11. Mananam of chapter 11. So tomorrow we'll end the Mananam series, and we have Vasishtha, no? Vasishtha group will offer the Mananam on chapter 12. Yeah? And as you know, chapter 12 also is a short chapter, but it is considered the essence of the entire Vedas. So we will see that tomorrow. And after their presentation, and I may introduce the next Shatkam, Asipada Shatkam, and give a short introduction to what's ahead of Bhakti Yoga chapter. Okay? Om Tat Sat. Now we will conclude with the Shanti mantras. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahishaah Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Shobharahitah Brahmana Santu Nirbhayah सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्ति मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ